Hello scholars. Today we are going to start with History chapter 6, the Revolt of 1857. As you all know that the Britishers ruled our country for about 200 years. So by the middle of 19th century, they were able to extend their political control over the whole country. And even the people from all the sections of Indian society were affected by their policies. Whether it is a king, a landlord, a sepoy or a peasant, all the people were dissatisfied with the policies followed by the Britishers, and this dissatisfaction has resulted in various mutinies, rallies, revolts, etc. In this chapter, we are going to study about one such revolt, that is the revolt of 1857. This revolt started as a sepoy mutiny. Sepoy mutiny basically means one open protest or rebellion by the sepoys or soldiers. This revolt was started by the soldiers, but gradually it took along the people from all the sections of the society. And that's why some of the nationalists termed it as First War of Independence, because this revolt shook the foundation of the British Empire. This revolt has changed the whole social structure of Indian society, and the effects of this revolt were long-lasting and very deep. First of all, we'll be talking about the causes of the revolt. There were 6 different causes for the revolt: political cause, economic cause, military cause, administrative cause, social and religious cause, and last and the most important was an immediate cause, which has resulted in the outbreak of this rebellion. First of all, we'll be discussing about the political cause for the revolt. The basic political cause was that the Britishers has annexed many Indian states by the system of subsidiary alliance or doctrine of lapse. Subsidiary alliance basically is the system in which the weak rulers were forced to accept the supremacy of Britishers and to rule under them on certain conditions. On the other hand, doctrine of lapse relates with forceful annexation of a state if the ruler does not have a natural heir. So the annexation of different states like Jhansi, Nagpur, Satara, Mysore, Hyderabad, by these two policies created unrest among the leaders or rulers in different Indian states. Second political cause was the prince of the states were denied the right to accession. Example, the Britishers did not accept the adopted son of Rani Lakshmi Bai as the ruler of Jhansi. Many Nawabs lost their royal titles. The pension of Nana Sahib was denied, and he was forced to go and live in Kanpur, which was far away from their ancestral place. Even the Muslim rulers were greatly affected by the policies of Britishers. As per the Britishers, the coins which were having the pictures of Muslim kings, they were being removed by the company. On the other hand, after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, his family was forced to leave the palace and go and live at some other place. Even the Britishers declared that his successor will not be considered as king, but only as prince, and they have to work under the Britishers. Last political cause is the harsh policies of the Britishers towards the irregular soldiers led to unhappiness among the soldiers. Next, we are going to study about the administrative causes. The basic administrative cause for the revolt was all the higher posts in civil and military services were reserved for the Britishers. Even the eligible and qualified Indians were not given power and positions. Second administrative cause was Indians were not given promotions in civil and military services. Next, we are going to discuss about military cause. One basic military cause was introduction of new laws by the Britishers. Britishers introduced a law which was related with the crossing of sea. Introduction of this rule hurted the sentiments of the people or the sepoys. According to Indian soldiers, if they are crossing a sea, they are losing their religion and caste. So when the Indian soldiers were asked to cross the sea and go to fight in Burma, then the soldiers refused. So in 1856, the company passed a new law which made it compulsory for the Indian soldiers to cross the sea or to go overseas for any fight whenever it is required. Second military cause was, as most of the Indian soldiers belonged to the villages with agricultural background, in this manner, when the peasants revolted, they fully supported the peasants' revolt. Next, we are going to study about the economic cause. When we talk about economic cause, the Britishers completely ignored the landlords and they had direct contacts with the peasants. But both the peasants and zamindars were unhappy with the policies of the Britishers because they were charging high taxes and the method of collection of these taxes were very cruel. If any of the peasant is not able to pay the high taxes, in this manner, either his land is being taken or he enters into a vicious circle of debt. So in this manner, large areas of land which are belonging to the peasants are either being taken up by the Britishers or are being sold to the bidders at high prices. Next, we are going to study about social and religious causes. The Britishers always treat themselves as superior to Indians. They publicly insulted the people, those who are either belonging to Hindus or to Muslims. And they usually hurt the sentiments of both the religions. As the Britishers were following Christianity, so they give full support to Christian missionaries to convert Indians into Christianity. The Britishers were against the idol worship, and for that sake, they even charge taxes on the land which belongs to Hindu temples or Muslim mosques. So these type of activities of Britishers have hurted the religious sentiments of the people. Now talking about the social cause, Britishers even tried to change the social customs which were prevailing in Indian society. They tried to encourage Western education, widow remarriage, and even they tried to abolish sati system. So with this, the Indians thought that the Britishers are trying to directly interfere in their religious matters. So all the people belonging to either Hindu or Muslim community, they started protesting against the Britishers. Now we are going to discuss about the last cause of revolt. That was an immediate cause. In 1856, the Britishers have introduced a new rifle called as Enfield rifle for their army. That rifle was having a greased paper along its cartridge. In order to load the rifle, a sepoy has to bite that paper with his mouth. In 1857, a rumor spread that that cartridge was made from the fat of pigs and cows. The sepoys refused to use the rifle and they decided to revolt. Next, we are going to study about the outbreak and spread of the revolt. The revolt that spread in northern India was a result of dissatisfaction among the people because of the administrative policies followed by Britishers. On 29th March 1857, a sepoy named Mangal Pandey revolted and attacked his officers at Barakpur. Later on, the soldiers belonging to other regiments, they refused to use the cartridges and they even revolted and were put into jail. On 10th May, a group of soldiers marched towards Meerut jail and they released the other soldiers and seized all the arms and ammunitions and set fire to the building and to the British properties. In this manner, an official war started. This revolt got converted into rebellion. When these rebel sepoys reached Delhi and the other sepoys supported them. So in Delhi too, these sepoys set fire to the British buildings and captured their arms and declared Bahadur Shah Zafar as their ruler. So in this manner, this revolt outbroke and it spread to all parts of the country. Next we are going to study about major centers of revolt. As the revolt spread, Zamidar, local chiefs and peasants too, they joined the revolt. So the main centers of revolt were Delhi, where Bakht Khan was the leader, Kanpur, where Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Baji Rao, led the revolt. He declared himself as Peshwa and Bahadur Shah Zafar as his king. Lucknow, where Begum Hazrat Mahal and Birjis Kadir, who was the son of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, they led the revolt. Jhansi, where Rani Lakshmi Bai led the revolt. Bareilly, where Khan Bahadur Khan was the leader of revolt. Bihar, where Kunwar Singh led the rebels at Arra. So these were some of the main centers of revolt and the main leaders who led the revolt at various places. As this revolt spread in North India, so its effects were visible even in South India. And there were many uprisings in Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Goa and many other small places. Next we are going to study about the revolt in Awadh. Awadh was a main center of revolt for about 8 months. The capital of Awadh was Lucknow. Awadh was annexed by Britishers by imposing subsidiary alliance on the basis of misgovernance. The Britishers removed Nawab Wajid Ali Shah and this has resulted in a dissatisfaction among the sepoys, landlords, peasants and all the people belonging to the society. So when the revolt was led by his wife Begum Hazrat Mahal, so the people belonging to all the sections of the society joined the revolt. They attacked the British officers, set fire to the British buildings. In this manner, many of the British officers were killed. In this manner, revolt at Awadh played a major changing role in this revolt of 1857. Next, we are going to study about the suppression of revolt. The British tried their level best to suppress this revolt of. New reinforcements were done and new laws were being passed by the Britishers regarding their policies. Bahadur Shah Zafar was arrested and was given life imprisonment. In this manner, Delhi was recaptured by the Britishers in 1857. In Awadh also, under the leadership of Sir Campbell and with the support of Gorkha Regiment, the Britishers were able to recapture Awadh. Kanpur was also recaptured by the Britishers in 1858. Begum Hazrat Mahal escaped to Nepal. Jhansi was even recaptured by Britishers in 1858. Rani Lakshmi Bai initially fled to Gwalior, but later on, when Gwalior was also captured by the Britishers, she died fighting with the Britishers. So in this manner, the Britishers recaptured all the places which were basically the main centers of the revolt, and this manner, revolt was suppressed. As the Britishers were surprised by this type of rebellion, so they don't want this incident to happen again. So to avoid any such rebellion in further, the Britishers tried to please the Indians. The Indian landlords who were loyal were granted by their rights over the lands, and even the sepoys who revolted were asked to submit and were given back their lands and life. Soldiers, those who were not ready to submit, were being killed brutally. In this manner, many of the people were being killed and many were hanged. In this manner, the Britishers tried to suppress the revolt. Next, we'll be discussing about the reason for the failure of revolt. The revolt of 1857 started as an uprising by the soldiers, and later on it took the attention of a mass or maximum of the people of Indian society. Many people joined the revolt, but still it could not succeed and finally resulted in a failure. So the main reason for the failure of revolt were the revolt did not spread to all parts of the country, and even the educated people and the rich people, as they were loyal to the Britishers, they did not support the revolt. Many Indian rulers supported Britishers in suppressing the revolt, and even the educated people, they did not join the revolt. Second reason for the failure was the lack of resources. The resources which the rebels were having were not at all matching with the resources of Britishers. The British army was well organized and was having modern techniques of warfare and was fed with modern weapons, and on the other hand the rebels were not having modern weapons and techniques. Next reason was lack of leadership. Many leaders joined the revolt for their personal gain and not for the country's gain. So in this manner they did not lead their armies effectively. Next cause was lack of ideology and experience. Rebels don't have any idea to protect the captured state, so soon these states were recaptured by the Britishers. Next we are going to study about the impact of revolt. The Britishers brought many changes in their policies and in their setup, so that such type of revolt should not occur again in future. So some changes introduced by the Britishers were the Government of India Act 1858. According to this act, the power was transferred from company to the crown. Now India was directly ruled from England. One British member was appointed as the Secretary of State, and he was having all the powers to see the governing of the country. And that person was directly controlled by the British Crown or by the Queen of England. The Governor General now got the title of Viceroy, and he was the direct representative of the Crown. Next was the respect and honor of princes were given back to them, and the chiefs were given their rights back. Even now, a ruler can give its power and its territory to its son as a successor, whether it would be an adopted son. But these rulers will be working under the supremacy of the British Queen. Next reformation was the Indian Civil Service Act of 1861. This act was passed to encourage the entry of more Indians in the civil and military services. For that, the Indians have to pass an entrance exam which was held in London. As the sepoys were responsible for this revolt, so the army was reorganized completely. Now very less Indian soldiers were put into the army, and on their places European soldiers were appointed. And all the powers related with the artillery and ammunitions were given in the hands of the European soldiers. And the higher post in the army were also given to them only. More soldiers were now being recruited from Gurkhas, Pathans and Sikhs in spite of Hindus and Muslims. Next was the Indian Council Act of 1861. According to this act, some of the Indian rulers were also made the part of legislation, thinking that Indian rulers are quite aware of the sentiments of the people. As one cause for the revolt was social and religious too. So the Britishers have understood the importance of religious beliefs and customs in the life of Indian people. As one cause of the revolt was social and religious too. So it was decided that due respect should be given to Indian religions, customs and beliefs. The Britishers even know that Muslims also helped in the revolt. So in this manner, the properties of Muslims were being confiscated by the Britishers. New policies were formed related to the rights of land. In order to win the loyalty and support of Indian landlords and chiefs, new laws were being framed regarding the rights on the land. So in this manner, the Britishers tried to overcome the loss which they have suffered from this revolt. This revolt, although was not successful and it has not brought a great change, but it has acted as a spark on the burning emotions of the people and have developed a feeling of nationalism among the people in India. which has in turn helped the people in arising in future against the Britishers. That's why this revolt was correctly known as First War of Independence. So this was all about the revolt of 1857. So before winding up, let us discuss some of the important dates related with the chapter. Indian Council Act was passed in 1861. Indian Civil Services Act was passed in 1861. Government of India Act was passed in 1858. The system of subsidiary alliance was started in 1798. Mangal Pandey attacked his officers on 29th March 1857. So this was all about the chapter. Good day for now. Stay home, stay safe.